Okay. Yeah. So we are going to start talking about plagiarism. Okay. Okay. So plagiarism. So what is plagiarism? So if you take somebody else's work and put your name on that, so that's plagiarism. Okay. So it's not a good practice. So we are all scientists, right? We are all scholars. So as scholars, we should not steal other people's work. So if we are benefited from somebody else's work, we should always give them some credit. So I have seen so many students, like last year's research students, like a couple of days ago, I was given the reports by the students who went for their special assignments, I think, internship, no, in-plant training. So there is a lot of plagiarism in that work. And they know that stealing somebody else's work is completely wrong, but still they do that. But the problem is in Sri Lanka, there is not much like penalties for this type of practice. But in other countries, it is a very serious matter. Like they will not let things go lightly like that. They will punish you very severely if you or anybody else commits plagiarism. That is just totally stealing intellectual property of other people. Okay, so there are different forms of plagiarism. Okay, the different forms of plagiarism. So we are going to look at each one of them. So we are going to talk about these different forms. So I'm going to go into slide. So verbatim quotation. Verbatim means word for word. So you just completely copy everything. Like you don't change anything. You copy the whole paragraph. Okay, the whole thing. Just don't change anything at all. I have seen that. I have first-hand experience of that because from the research students, okay, your colleagues, okay, and I have even lowered their grades. But what should have happened was not lowering the grade, but giving a fail grade. And most of the time, if you cheat on your thesis in a country like US, you will lose your degree. You will lose your degree. You will be expelled from the school with a black mark, and you will not be accepted anywhere for higher education or anything like that. So it's a very serious offense. So other forms like cutting and pasting stuff from internet without acknowledging, and paraphrasing. So we will discuss each one of these individually. Okay, collusion, inaccurate citation. You get assistance from someone, but you fail to acknowledge, and you hire other people to do work for you, and you plagiarize yourself. Okay, those are the main types. And I have given this link at the bottom, like right here. So this is a link from Oxford University. So most of the material in this lecture have been taken from that page. So you can, I will share this slideshow with you. Then you can go to that link and see for yourself. Okay. So verbatim copying. So if you are copying like a whole paragraph without changing any words, then you definitely, one thing you should do is put that paragraph within quotation marks. So you open the quotation marks, paste the paragraph, and you close the quotation marks. Okay, so that is what you should do. So, and the second thing you should do is you have to give reference. You have to provide a reference from which person, from which source did you copy and paste. That is the second thing. So two things you have to keep in mind if you are copying and pasting a whole paragraph. First one, put them in between quotation marks. Second one, give credit to that person by referencing the source. And if you are writing your final thesis, then if most of the content of your thesis has been copied and pasted from some external source, then that degree cannot be awarded to you because you have copied and pasted things from external sources, even if you have put them within quotation marks and given the proper reference. If most of your work is copied and pasted from somebody else, then within that thesis, there is not much original work from you. That means the degree should not be awarded to you. Okay. So this is one thing that you should remember. So how to deal with verbatim copying and pasting. Okay. This is one form of plagiarizing. If you copy something word for word, and if you do not put the quotation, so even if you put the quotation, if you forget to give the proper acknowledgement, that is one form of plagiarism. And then cutting and pasting stuff from the internet. And most of, like some of the time, you do not know whether that information is correct even. Like, so you have to, there are so many, weirdos like writing stuff on the internet. They have their own websites and they write things, but they might not be completely correct sometimes. So you have to, if you are cutting and pasting from internet, one thing you have to do is make sure that the information that you are cutting and pasting is from a genuine source, like a reputed university. Otherwise, if it is some individual person's website, then you do not know whether that person is giving the correct information or not. Okay. So that is one precaution. Make sure that you are getting the genuine, correct, accurate information. And definitely, if it is from a good source, genuine source, you have first made sure that it is from a genuine source, then you have to give the proper credit by citing properly the source. Okay. So that is another form. If you do not adhere to those guidelines, that is another form of plagiarism. Okay. Okay. Because most of the stuff that appear in the internet, they are not peer-reviewed material. Like you get some idea, then you write it on your web page. I don't think any experts in that domain have gone through that and said, yeah, this stuff is okay. So those that kind of material, you have to be very careful when you are including them in your thesis. Okay. And another thing is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means you change things a little bit. You change things a little bit, like change a couple of words, change the order of the words, and then you think like, okay, since I have changed this, now I can put my name on it. But that is totally wrong because it is not your idea. If it is not your idea, then you cannot put your name. Okay, you can put your name if, like, you can put your name in the front cover of the thesis, given that you have given proper credit to each and every person from whom you have borrowed the ideas. So just because you read somebody's paper, some article, and then change the words a little bit, it does not become your idea. It is still that person's idea. So you just change the order of the words. So you definitely need to tell the world that this is not my idea. This is an idea that I have borrowed from some other person. Okay, so that should be there. So paraphrasing means you're changing, you're altering the words or changing the order of a sentence, like changing the order of words in a sentence that is taken from some kind of an article or some other external source. That is paraphrasing. Okay, so you have to get the idea correctly, what it means by paraphrasing. So copying word to word, that is not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means you did not copy word to word, you change the order of the words a little bit, but still it is not your idea. Okay, so one thing you should do to avoid this type of plagiarism is to read the work very carefully. You're reading somebody else's paper, you read it very carefully, and then you try to assimilate that idea into your brain. Okay, and then you put that paper aside. Put that paper aside. Don't look at it again. Just get the idea. Then take a little break. Just walk here and there a little bit. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just let that idea sink into your brain. And then write things in your own words, like summarize or write whatever that person has said in your own words. Because otherwise you always feel like copying that stuff and then writing it here and then changing a couple of words. You should always overcome that temptation. Okay, because it's so easy to do, but then you're in trouble. So always read the paper, let the idea sink in, take a break, write it in your own words. That's what you should do. Okay, and even if you do that, you still have to cite, give the reference. Okay, so paraphrasing is not something that you can do to get away from giving credit to somebody's work. Okay, collusion. So you're asked to submit an assignment. Then couple of your friends, like you get along with your friends and then get together and write the assignment, write answers to the assignment. Okay, so this is something that I think you guys do all the time. Okay, so it is supposed to be individual assignment work. Okay, you might be working in groups, but when you are submitting the assignment, you should write it separately, individually. Okay, not as a group work. So, but if you receive some assistance from somebody, if you collaborated with somebody, then you have to definitely provide like information. Otherwise, if there is easily identifiable common regions of like common paragraphs within the assignment that are present in all the students, then it is very clear that you have gotten together with your friends and then work together to produce the assignment. So that is collusion. Unauthorized collaboration between students. So you are not authorized. You have been asked to produce the assignment individually, but you have gotten together and written answers to the assignment, which is collusion, which is a form of plagiarism. Okay. So individual concepts. So what is verbatim copying, what is paraphrasing, what is collusion. You should know these concepts. Collusion means getting together to write answers to some examination material. Examination in the sense like even these assignments are a form of examination, right? So you have been clearly told that you cannot do it as group work, but you go against those guidelines and do it as group work. That is collusion. Okay. So when I was in US, there were these students who were doing um, like that course they were taking. That was a chemistry course, and it was compulsory for them to pass that chemistry course to get into medical college. Okay. So, but most of them had gotten together to write the answers, and this was caught by the professor, and they failed. They were given fail grades for the whole course. So they just like, they lose a lot of money, because unlike in Sri Lanka, in US, they have to pay for everything. So even after paying all that money, it's totally because you committed plagiarism, failing the course, and therefore not being able to go to medical college and things like that. That can be a life-changing moment. So you should always be careful not to commit plagiarism. Okay. Inaccurate citation, that is another form. So whatever that you read, whatever that you have used to produce your answer should be referenced. But at the same time, if you have included a reference for a source that you have not referred, that is also a form of plagiarism, because you haven't read that, but you're including it in the references. That is totally wrong. You cannot do that. You think like it is better to show off that I have read this thing. So you're giving citation, you're giving reference to some source that you haven't referred. So that is wrong. Okay, and also you have to be very careful with the names of the authors. Okay, so if you give their names wrong, that is misleading. If somebody wants to follow like from where you got this information, and if you have given a wrong reference, so that is a form of plagiarism. That is misleading other people. You are not providing the correct source from where you got the information. Okay, that is another form of plagiarism. Inaccurate citation. So you have to be very careful that you are providing accurate citation only to the sources that you referred, not for anything else. Okay, and be very careful with the names. Okay. And failure to acknowledge assistance. Sometimes, like when you're doing research, some people, like you consult some people, you ask the lab technician. So I'm not, this is my research, I'm not sure about which method to use. So from your experience, can you guys tell me like which method is the best? Likewise, if you get some advice from other people, then you should definitely give credit to those people in your thesis, in whatever the article or anything. If you have received that sort of information, you should give credit. So this is failure to acknowledge assistance. If you have asked your friends to help you with your research, if you have received any sort of information from external sources, okay, then you should definitely provide information about that person from whom you received the assistance. Failure to do so is plagiarism. Okay. So this does not usually apply to things like proofreading. Proofreading is not, because I mean the person who proofreads does not give you ideas about how to do the research. They are usually checking whether you have any grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, things like that. So that is something else. But if it is a turning point in your research, if that person gave you some really important ideas that really helped you in your research, then that person or that external body should be acknowledged. Okay, failure to acknowledge that sort of assistance is considered as plagiarism. Okay, and then like if you, for example, go to a website like Top Jobs today, topjobs.lk, I think you have already visited that website to look for jobs. So there are jobs like academic writers, assignment writers, work from home. So there are certain jobs like that: academic writers, assignment helpers, assignmenthelp.com, things like that. So usually these are sort of businesses that have been established by people from third world countries where the labor cost is very low. So if somebody from England or some other developed country, if they want to, you know, get, if they don't want to put some effort to write their answers to the assignment, they can just outsource that, consult some website and ask somebody else to do the assignment for them. And for that, they will pay money. So that is like you're outsourcing your assignments for money. Okay, that is another form of plagiarism, because that is, so then if you do that, you should not deserve any sort of grade for that particular assignment, because you are not the person who did the work. Okay, so that is something else that you should keep in mind. So you should not be even part of that sort of deal. That is, although there are no laws in Sri Lanka, I think to sue that sort of people in other countries, if you do that and if you get caught, you are in a lot of trouble. Okay, so it's given in bold type, even with the consent of the person who has written it. So I write your answer, then I say, okay, you can put your name. You give me the money, you can put your name on it. So I explicitly say, I don't want to put my name, you put your name, just give me the money. But even so, even I give my consent, it is still plagiarism, because you are not the person who did the work. So you cannot put your name on it. Okay. Then self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism means you are plagiarizing yourself. Like as given in this picture, you take two courses. For one course, therefore an assignment, you write an answer. Then there is another course which gives us sort of a similar assignment. And to write an answer for this second assignment, you copy and paste things from the first assignment's answer. That is also plagiarism, because in that case, you are plagiarizing your own work. That is called self-plagiarism. You are not copying somebody else's work, but you are copying your own work. And that is considered as a form of plagiarism. And if you copy and paste things from your own work, then definitely you have to give reference to the old paper. Okay? If you give reference to your old paper, then that is not plagiarism. But if you copy and paste it here and you do not give reference to the old paper, then that is plagiarism. So you should keep that in mind. So as long as you give the reference, that is not plagiarism. But most of the time, people think like, okay, it was me who wrote the previous answer as well. So it's okay. I'm not copying somebody else's work. I'm just copying and pasting my own work. But in the academic world, That is also a form of plagiarism if you fail to provide acknowledgement to your previous work. Because most of the time, this is important if you are submitting an article to a journal paper. Okay, so you are writing an article for a journal, then there is a concept called copyright, because you are giving copyright to that publisher of that journal, and you are saying that I have not published this work anywhere else. You have to say that before you are like publishing, before you are sending your final manuscript. You have to click that box. I guarantee that I have not published this sort of information anywhere else. Then if you plagiarize yourself, you cannot say that, because then this has already been published somewhere else. Okay, so that is wrong. If the publisher catches you doing that, then that journal paper will not let you publish any article in that journal again. Okay, and it is not only restricted to a journal paper. Even in your assignments, you cannot copy the answer from one assignment to write the next assignment. That is wrong. And if you do so, you have to say specifically that you got this portion of this assignment from that previous one. If you do not provide that reference, it's plagiarism. And your advisor, your professor, your lecturer most probably will not approve you copying a previous answer to write this answer. Okay. So those are the main forms of plagiarism. Do you guys have any questions? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear.
Okay. You can see this, right? You can see the slides, right? Hello? Can you
Yes, sir.
see this? Okay. 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 So why does it matter? Like, so I plagiarize, so what? Why does it matter? So yeah, because I mean that is, if you have like at the end of the degree program, if you do not have your own voice, if you cannot, like if you are not grateful enough to give credit to other people's work, then the university cannot release you to the society as a person that carries the university's name. Because if you do a similar thing in the society, that's not good for the university. At the same time, there is something called a graduate profile. Each university has a graduate profile. So the graduate profile defines what kind of graduates the university is going to produce. And plagiarism is totally against that graduate profile. So, which means if you commit plagiarism, you are not the type of graduate the university wants to produce. So the university can deny awarding you the degree if you have committed plagiarism. Okay. So it's not good for you and it's not good for the university. Okay. So why should you avoid plagiarism? So like as university students, step by step, you have to develop your individuality. Like you have to have your own voice within the university and outside the university. You should not be someone who just, you have to have your unique personality. So this plagiarism is getting in your way. That is something that you should avoid in order to develop your own voice. Okay. So that is one reason. And another reason is, why not give some credit to somebody if you have benefited from them? So be grateful. Always be grateful. If you have been benefited from somebody else's work, give them proper credit. Why not? Why do you want to put your name for somebody else's work? Right? And you want to be proud about yourself at the end of 4 years that I have done something good. And if you can, like, you might even get away with plagiarism and graduate with like first class or even second upper, because the lecturers are too lazy to go through your work carefully, and they do not catch that you have committed plagiarism. So you get through all those loopholes, and then you get a like good degree with a higher class. But inside yourself, your conscience, it knows that you copied from other people, and then you did not give credit to those people. So can you be really happy? You stole intellectual property from other people. You're like a thief. You're nothing short of a thief if you commit plagiarism. Okay. So I don't know, for me, I have already informed my students starting from the very beginning of their research work that if they commit plagiarism, they will get a very low grade. And since the thesis carries a lot of it carries, I think 6 credits, I think. So if you get a very low grade for your thesis, that's going to affect your class. You might have planned to graduate with a second upper, but this one will make sure that you might not even get a class. Okay, so there are software to do that. And even if you don't have software, it's very easy to just copy and paste on the Google and check. Most of the time you guys have just copied and pasted from websites. So it's very easy to check. And when that happens, number one, we can give you a low grade. Number two, without stopping there, we can talk to the research coordinators of that degree program and maybe to the proctor. And then you will have a much harder time. That might even make it difficult for you to graduate with that badge. You might miss the badge and you will have to graduate with the other badge. You have to redo your thesis. Okay, so that's gonna bring you a lot of trouble. So do not commit plagiarism. Sri Lanka is very lenient on plagiarism. So, but the moment you step outside, you will realize that plagiarism is a very serious offense. Okay. Okay. So you might be wondering, does every statement in my essay, everything, do I have to provide reference for everything? No. So there are certain, there is certain knowledge in your domain of work, in your domain of knowledge that you know is considered as common knowledge, right? I mean, nowadays, like everybody, I mean, all of you probably know, everybody knows that genetic material is, you know, it's either DNA or RNA, things like, you know, that's some common knowledge, okay? It's DNA or RNA or together, both. So you don't have to provide a citation or reference for that. That's common knowledge. You don't have to provide reference for Earth goes around sun. Okay, that's common knowledge. But provide a reference for that. So just think about it. In your domain of expertise, is this common knowledge? Is this something that everybody knows? If this is something that is considered in your domain is as common knowledge, then you don't have to give reference for that. But if this is some specific region of knowledge, specific portion of knowledge that has been divulged by careful research work by some research team, then that is not common knowledge. Then you have to definitely give them credit for that. So if you are not sure about whether this is common knowledge or whether this is something that I should give credit to, then it is always better to give credit. Because although you don't know, it might not be common knowledge. Then you accidentally or unintentionally commit plagiarism. So why do you want to do that? If you are not sure, always try to give reference. Okay? Okay. That is the end of that slideshow. So I think, so we are going to talk about some reference managers. Okay, we're going to talk about some reference managers, some software. I think, yeah. This is reference management. So reference management, so there's this specific area for reference management because it's not that easy to manage references manually. I mean, manually managing references is a mess. So we usually use software to do that. Okay, you will see why it becomes a mess if you try to do it manually. And this reference management can be like sort of defined as a systematic process, like, you know, so it's a very organized, systematic process which allow you to retrieve information, literature information, and also that is easily retrievable and so citable. Okay, so reference management is a methodology that allows you to organize this reference material so that whenever you want them, they can be easily retrieved and they can be easily cited in your research work. And nowadays, this reference management software, they have so many capabilities, like organizing, like one of the main things they do is they'll make it very easy for you to organize your references. and create bibliographies. Bibliographies, we will talk about them. Like at the end of your research work, you have to give a bibliography. It's like the order of the reference material that you referred to. Okay? And it will also, like the reference management software that are available these days, they even provide you facilities to collaborate with other researchers and also search for latest research. So there are so many tools available. Okay. So basically, the citing and referencing in plain words. So in simple terms, they're always referring to acknowledging the source. You have to let the other people know from where you got that information. Okay. So this is an example. So you have this. So this whole process of reference management usually there are two parts. So when you're writing your article, you have to provide the order of the reference material, like 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise. That is, I mean, there are many ways of doing that. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you can give surnames and the years. There are different styles. So one style is giving the order of the reference material in a numeric way as numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, like. So this is within the text, within the main text, you provide the numeric order. So that is called in-text citation. So that is one part. And the description of these numbers, you provide that in the bibliography. That is the second part. So there are two parts, in-text citation followed by bibliography that will come at the end of the research work or whatever the assignment or homework. Okay, that will come at the end. Bibliography will come at the end. And within the main work, you have to give the citations, in-text citations, and the descriptions will be given in the bibliography. Okay. So this is an example, like providing a bibliography for a journal article. So you have the names of the authors, the title of the article, from where you got the information, and the name of the journal, year of publication, on which year was this article published, and what is the volume, what is the issue of the journal, and what are the page numbers. So if somebody wants to have a look at that source that you referred, then you have all the information. Because science is all about reproducing the same work. Somebody else, if they follow the same method as you did, then they should be able to get the same results. So in order to do that, they need to be able to look at the source that you referred. So it is your duty to give them information about the source that you referred. So by providing bibliography like this, you provide all the information that is required for some other scientist to reproduce that work by following the given method. Okay, so that is your duty. So it's not always articles. So you can refer articles, of course, but you can refer books, you can refer book chapters, you can refer like movies or videos, data sets, web pages, even unpublished documents. Okay, it can be personal communication. Okay, it can be anything. There are so many things that can be candidates for a reference. Okay, does not always have to be research articles. Okay? So if you receive some information from a Google Drive somewhere, then you can refer that, give reference to that Google Drive. If you got some information from a Dropbox somewhere, you can give reference to that Dropbox. Some video, some YouTube video, then give reference. Okay. So again, we come back to that concept. We have to always provide credit to the original source or the idea, because they need to be able to find information about what you refer. And at the same time, it lets the other people know that you are a person who read those things. And that is good for you. That is good for you, because then others know, like, okay, now this person has gone through a lot of material. Yeah, this person has read a lot of articles. So he's a very knowledgeable person. By looking at your reference section, anybody can get an idea, like what kind of hard work have you put in. So he has referred so many sources in coming up with this thesis. So that is something good, right? So anything that is not produced based on your data, because you have some data, you did some calculation, and then you come up with some final conclusion, okay, your discussion and conclusion. If any part of your research article is not based on the data that you produced, then it is not your work, it is somebody else's work. Then it should be cited. Okay, any methods that you used that were originally the ideas of somebody else, then those have to be cited. Okay, and again, like for example, the common knowledge, they don't have to be cited, like tuberculosis is a bacterial disease caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. You don't have to like start carrying out a search. No. Who said tuberculosis is a bacterial disease caused by this bacteria? No, that is, by now it's common knowledge. Okay. So you don't have to find a citation for that. Find a reference. Okay. And if some conclusion is based on your study and your data, then you don't have to give a reference for that, because it's your material, your original finding. So you don't have to cite somebody else for that. Okay. So always try to get the latest information. So you're writing the article in 2021. All your references are in 1950s. Then that is not good, because that is some old knowledge. Your current research work has been created based on outdated information. So that is not good. Always try to get access to the latest information, latest and relevant, and probably the best, like best in the sense it has been referred to by so many reputable universities and scientists, so many, like many citations. So that must be some good source. That is why everybody is citing that. Okay, so you have to find that sort of sources, best sources that are relevant, and that is the latest information in the field. That is what you should do when choosing the references. When choosing the references, always try to find the latest information in the field. Okay, and never cite what you have not read, because sometimes in the there may be some people in the panel, like when I was doing my PhD in my final defense, some people asked, like, did you really read this article? then if, based on my answer, that person can ask questions. If that is an article that he or she is very thorough with, then if I say I have referred that article when I have not, then I am in trouble, because then that person start asking questions. What do you think about that? What do you think about this? So if there's a question, do we need to use references for a definition describing a disease like heart attack? Okay. So whenever you are providing a definition, it is better to provide the source from where you got the definition. Because if somebody is defining something, there should be a reference, right? Where it is defined. So you can have your own opinion, that is fine, but you can say according to this source, this has been defined like this. According to this source, this is defined like this. So you are always safe then. You have clearly given the reference. But then you can write your own idea as well. But you have made sure that you have given the proper reference. If somebody wants to look at that, then they can do that because you have given the reference. Okay. So if you are providing a definition, most probably you are not defining it for the first time. Somebody else has defined it. So you can say, according to this source, this is defined like this. Okay. So as we said before, there are two parts, in-text citation and the bibliography. In-text citation is what you provide in the main text. Numbers or author and date. Yeah, so so whenever you are, so there's another question. So can we use permitted maximum levels of food additives in government websites as references? Definitely, yes. If it is a government website, then definitely you should put that one. If something if something goes wrong, it's not on your head anymore. It will be the government. I mean, it's in the website, right? So you should definitely try to do the best you can. But if your study is based on some reference values, if you fail to provide the source of the reference, then you are in trouble. And if it is something given by the government, it is really good, because government is always responsible. It's like a very responsible entity, right? So they have published those values after doing research. So, and the Sri Lanka, the country name, is attached to that information. So that is the best information you can get, I mean, as a reference. But after some time, like after 5-10 years, they might say like, okay, we have updated those values. That is something else. But at the time of you were writing the thesis, that was the latest information. So you can give that as a reference. Okay. So what you give in the main text is the in-text citation. Those can be like numbers, or those can be authors and the dates. And then whatever you provide as detail at the end of the article, that is the bibliography, or what we call reference list. So there are two parts, the citation and the bibliography. So that's a question. If that is an article and also that has already mentioned reference for some paragraph, then is it enough to write only the reference of article or should we write the reference of first source? So you should always give reference to what you read. So if you did not read the original source, okay, if you did not read the original source, if you only read the secondary source, then you cannot say that you read the original source, right? Only if you read the primary or the original source, you can give it as a reference. Only the ones that you refer. That secondary source might be referring to a primary source, but you cannot give it as a reference because you did not read it. So it's always it's always better if you can go to the primary reference as well. So secondary reference is the one you referred, and it directs you to some other primary reference. So just take some time and read that one as well. Little bit, read it. The relevant section, read it. Then put that one also. So you have two references. Okay. How much of maximum research references that we can use in background writing? So if it is a research article, there are sometimes limitations. Okay. You cannot, like, your article is 3 pages, you have reference section 5 pages. You cannot do that. Okay. So usually it sometimes is limited by the journal article, but always try to get the latest information that is relevant, most really relevant to your work, not all the article names out there. And you understand what I'm saying. Most of the time you want to refer to that particular information. Okay. It's good that if you can read more, that is much better. So always keep on reading. Okay. Most of the time it is quite rare that you have a reference section bigger than the article, right? I mean, it's not the case usually. So, but I mean, if you have referred to something, then definitely you should cite it. So I haven't come across a situation where I have a bigger reference list and there is not enough space. There can be some situations like that. I don't know. I haven't come across that sort of situation. Then we will have to talk to the publisher as well. I am having a problem. I have a huge, like a long reference list, but there is not enough space. Then the publisher can tell you that what should be done. Okay. If we have to mention several information got from the same reference material, do I need to mention the same reference material? No. So one reference appears only once. I mean, at the bibliography, it appears only once. But whenever it is, let's say, in the first paragraph, we are talking about something, and it has been taken from the article number 3. And in the second paragraph, again, something that you read in the article number 3. But yeah, definitely, in both paragraphs, article number 3 should be given, because people should know. Okay. Because most of the time, if it is the same article, the reference management software, it will not add a different number. It will give the same number. So if it is article number 3, you are referring for the second time, it will not give it as the 4th reference, because that is why we have article reference, the reference management software. The software knows that you have already included that in the bibliography. So it is going to again say number 3, not number 4. Okay. I think you got my point. So whenever you are referring to an article, that article's number should be there. It might be appearing for the 3rd time, but it should be there. Can we use websites of organization? Yeah, you can refer anything. You can refer any website, but you have to give in the reference to the website. Okay, you have to give reference to the website. You can watch a YouTube video. Say like you did your whole thesis using the YouTube videos. I mean, it's not the best way to do it. But if you got the information from a YouTube video, then you should give the reference to the YouTube video. You can do that. Okay. So in the bibliography, it appears once, but whenever you have couple of paragraphs using information from the same article, then let's say you got in 3 paragraphs, then that article number should appear 3 times. Okay. So another question, if we got same idea from reading 2 articles, how can we add the, yeah, so you can add multiple citations from the same idea. That's something we can do. So the reference the reference management system software allows you to give multiple references to the same idea. That can be done. So sometimes you have like 3, 5, 7, 9. So like multiple references appearing one after the other, but at the same location inside the article. So that means you like you have arrived at that conclusion. You have arrived at this, that sort of information by reading 4 or 5 articles. That can be handled. So at the end of that sentence, you have to provide links, the citations for all those articles. Okay. So what is the volume and issue in the reference? So volume and issue means usually if it is a journal article, the particular journal, if it is issued monthly, then it will tell you like which issue. Okay, this is the September issue, or the even like if it is September, it might have like what is September, like 10, right? No, 9. So maybe it's issue 9. Okay, so they have like a volume and issue. Like every journal that is published has a volume and an issue most of the time. So those volume and issue refer to those. Okay. In-text citation, should we indicate names of all authors if there are few? Like not usually. Usually you say the surname of the first person, surname of the like first author, and then you say et al. Et al means and others. Et al. Okay. So you have to say and others, and then you give the year. So if when you look at that in the bibliography will give all the information or names of all the authors. But in the citation, usually you give only the surname of the first author, and then you write et al, and then the year. Okay, so that writing that et al will be handled by the software. You don't have to worry about that. The software will do it for you. Okay. So I think you got the answer for that one. Okay. Okay. So basically, like there are thousands of like reference styles, I would say. Yeah. Different journals have their own referencing systems, right? But there are 3 main categories. You usually give them as numbers in the in-text citation, like a number like this. It can be within square brackets, so it can be within parentheses, Okay, so whatever it is, it's a number. And in the bibliography, you you give further information. Okay, so that's another question. If we can't find the primary article, is it okay to cite the second? Yeah, I mean, you try your best to access the information. If it is not there, then you can't write it as a reference because you did not read it. So whatever you read, you put it in the reference list. If you could not read it, then that's it. So as an example for the numbered format, so these are some numbered formats. Vancouver, IEEE. So IEEE, you know, it's the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Okay, so that is a very famous format. And this is physics people, American Institute of Physics, I think this is. So they follow this numbered format. Okay, so these are different. These are examples for this numbered style. And then there are author date form. So instead of number, you provide the author's name and the year. Okay, and if you do this one, if you provide author's name and the date, then in the bibliography is arranged in the alphabetical order because you have the author's name, right? So the bibliography is arranged in the alphabetical order of the names of the authors. But if it is numbered, then it is in the ascending order, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. So examples for this author date format are Harvard format and the APA. So these are different. These are examples for this author date form. And there are footnote formats. Footnote means so on the page itself, like the main page. So you do not wait until the end of the article. If you provide a reference in page 2, you give details about that article in the second page itself, at the bottom. At the foot of the page, that means at the bottom of the page, you provide the detailed information. But after doing that, they also provide a bibliography alphabetically arranged at the end of the article as well. So this is not very common because you are sort of wasting the space. Because you can just give the numbers in the main text and then give the details at the end. So why do you want to give details on the same page and also at the end also we are providing details? That is like doubling the work. But I mean, this Chicago format is also a famous format. And there are certain associations that follow this format. So these are the three main styles. Okay. So this is an example of the numbered style. So you have 1, 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So at the end of the article, you have them like this. So you have all the information in the references section. So this is the bibliography. Sometimes you call it references. Okay. So here you have all the information. You have the authors, the surnames of all the authors with their initials, right? There's a question, what is the most appropriate style? So appropriate style, it is defined by the article. Sorry, by the journal. So let's say you want to write an article for a particular journal. So you have to look at the policy inside the journal. So whenever you want to write an article for a journal, in the website of the journal, they will tell you the style you should follow. So you have to follow that style. Okay, most of the time, the style is not decided by you. It is decided by the journal. You have to follow that style. Okay. It's like, I mean, what kind of style most commonly used in our field? It depends on the journal. I mean, in the food science field, for example, there can be multiple journals following multiple formats. So it's not a big deal. You just, if you want to write an article for a particular journal, just go to that website, and the website will give you very clear, detailed information about the reference style that you should follow. So it's very clear. You will not have any problems. So they will give you even examples, like this is how you should give references. So you just have to follow that. Most of the time, it is they will say something like, okay, we are following Harvard format, Chicago style. We will follow AIP. We will follow IEEE format. So they will say that. So then that's it. So most of the reference management software, they support those styles. So you just have to select it. And all your references will be customized in that way. You don't have to do anything. It will be handled by the software. All the information you need is what is the name of that style. And that name of the style will be given by the journal. Then you select that name from the list. And then all your references will be given in that way by the reference management software. Okay, so you don't even have to remember these formats, like, oh, what is the exact method of writing a journal article when following the, I mean, what is the exact method of writing a reference for a journal article if you are following the Harvard format. That is not something that you learn by heart. Nobody wants to remember that sort of information because it's already available. That is why we have the reference management software. Why do we want to store them in our heads, waste our brain cells, right? That is why we have the software for that. Nobody wants to memorize them. Okay. So this is author date style. So we have author. This is the surname of the author. See, we have et al. That means not only Baker, but there were so many others. So, but you don't want to give like there were 13, 14 people, then you have to write all of their names. So that is not good, right? I mean, then you're just wasting space because in the end, you are going to provide that information anyway. See, Baker. This is all the information. There is a guy called Harris, John. So all the information is given here. So you are only giving a little bit of information here. Rest of the information, it's given here. Okay. See, now here they have, in one of the questions the students asked, if there are multiple papers. So you provide them like this. So in this case, they have been separated by a semicolon. So that is also defined by the style itself, whether it is separated by a semicolon or whether it's separated by a comma. Okay. So there are multiple papers here, right? Multiple papers. One paper from Stephen and others in 2007, then John and Murray in 2008, another one from Dooley and Chison 2009, Ruslami and others in 2010 likewise. So there were different research papers, right? Okay. And then there are footnotes. So within the same page, you give some footnotes. At the end of that page, you give this information as footnotes. But at the end also, there's a separate reference section. So this is another format. At the end of the page also, you define what 1, 2, 3, 4 means. But at the end also you have information like that. So this Bissell, like so this Bissell, so who's that? Balakrishnan Harris. So should be, yeah, this Balakrishnan. Yeah, this one. Actually, in footnotes, you can even give other information as well. Like, I mean, not the same information as this one, some extra information as well you can give. So here you can say superscripted numbers and details in footnotes at the end of the page. So you don't have to confine yourselves to the names of the authors. Let's say you want to give a definition of a particular term. You want to define a term. Then you can define that term in the footnote section. You can do that, okay? Because that is some specific definition. Then you can give that as a footnote. You just put some letter here, and then you define it down like at the bottom as a footnote. Okay. The facts contained in a research article are accompanied by a citation. Then how can we take those facts and put a reference? Sometimes the facts contained in a research article are accompanied by a citation. Then how can we take those facts and put a reference? So you just have to go to the end of the document. At the end of the document, all the citations have been described in detail. Then you Google that information. Okay, that is how you do that. Because citation is just a number, something like that. You don't get any more information from that. To get the detail, you have to go to the bottom of the research to the end of the research article. Okay. Then you track that source and put the reference. So why do we need an electronic reference manager? Why do we need that? Because manually managing them is a very difficult task. Okay. Just imagine, like, there is so much information that you download, so many research articles, so much information. They might be in different folders. And after some time, you don't even remember where you saved them. And manually typing all that information, that's like hell. So many names you have to type. It's not going to work, right? That is why we need, because you don't want to write, like, type long lists of names and references. It's a huge waste of time. Because the same reference might be appearing in multiple papers. Like if you are writing 5 papers and a similar sort of reference list is being used in all those 5 papers, then you have to repeat all that information 5 times. But if you have already included that in a reference management software, it is just a matter of, clicking some buttons and everything will be included. So it saves a lot of time. And when you're trying to manually do something, there can be so many mistakes. But when you are doing it using a software, it minimizes the probability that you might accidentally do some error. Okay? And you can't remember all these different formats in your head. It is already difficult remembering one style, and there are like thousands of styles. How can you remember them manually? That's just not going to happen, right? So there's a question. So do we need to mention cited in the in-text citation when citing secondary articles? cited in. No, you don't write anything. You just let the software handle it. So basically, you are not going to write anything in the citation, in writing citations or references. You are not going to write anything. You just select the correct reference. You just select the correct reference, and the software will do the writing for you. You don't write anything. Okay. So electronic reference manager, why? So efficiency, saves time, yes. Quality assurance, otherwise we will do tons of mistakes, and then we will like feel like we are going crazy, you know. So it's not good. Easy to store, otherwise we will have to have multiple folders all over the computer, and after some time we don't remember, then we just we can't do anything. Okay. What is a word plug? Word plug in Mendeley reference software. Word plug. I haven't come across that term. Let me just check what is word plug. It's word plug. Word plug. Word plugin. Okay. You want to say word plugin? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, that's a plugin for Microsoft Word. There's a plugin for Microsoft Word, and we are going to have a look at that. Okay. Okay. Easy to search. Yes, easy to search, because I mean, you can't manually search, because after like couple of years, you probably have like thousands of references, and you can't manually search. So the reference software, you can just have there is a search bar. You just have to type the author's name or some information, and it will just quickly search it for you. Okay, and sometimes you have to quickly switch between different citation styles. Okay, then you can do it very quickly using the software. Otherwise, you will have to rewrite the whole thing manually in a different format. That is not going to happen. That is not how people work in this world. So these are some of the options we have. So there is Mendeley, there is Endnote, Zotero. Zotero is another good one. Like Mendeley and Zotero, they are like they are free. Two of the most famous freely available options, they are Mendeley and Zotero. Endnote is premium software. So these are like, yeah, this one is, I think, I don't remember this one. This is premium. So Mendeley and Zotero, they are like the ones that I have seen so many people using, because they are completely free. We are focusing on Mendeley today. Okay, it's quite famous, and there is so much information about Mendeley. So we are going to use Mendeley. It's free, user-friendly, and whether you are working on Linux, Mac, Windows, or some Android mobile phone, so there are versions. Mendeley has all the versions, and it supports all the browsers: Chrome, Internet Explorer. I don't know, I haven't used that in some time. Probably supporting that one as well. But Firefox, Opera, Chrome, yeah, those ones, and Safari if you are using like Macintosh. Okay. So, and whatever the versions you have, like everything is synchronized. So if you have a working internet connection, whether you are working in your tablet, in your laptop, desktop, or mobile phone, doesn't matter. All the information is synchronized, provided that you have a good internet connection. Okay. And there is a huge community of people using Mendeley. So if something goes wrong and if you need some advice, you can search online, and there are so many people using it, and it is highly probable that somebody out there in the world has come across a similar sort of problem, and therefore it's very easy to find a solution. Okay. And there are so many citation styles facilitated by Mendeley. So you can pick from so many styles, and you can even create your own customized reference styles. Okay, and give it a custom name, whatever you want. I mean, won't be very useful, but you can even create your own customized style. Okay. And you can even create groups. You can create social networks. Let's say you have 10 friends. Oh, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have 10. Even less is fine. Then you want to create a circle, some association, some society to share the information. Okay, then you can create a network using Mendeley. Group. Then you can just expand the group. Okay, it's like a Facebook for research. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it supports desktop, web, iOS, Android. There are citation plugins for Word. You can create groups, you can create private groups, and there is like a particular language, CSL, that lets you edit citation styles. So it's a citation style language. Okay. So many options. Okay. So that's about that. So we are going to look at Mendeley. Okay. We're going to look at Mendeley. So how can you do it using Mendeley? So first thing is you have to install Mendeley, right? Install Mendeley. So you go to mendeley.com. Okay. So yeah, I mean, in my case, I have, so I'm going to log out of Mendeley. So sign out. Okay. So this is how you first see it. So then you will be given the option of creating a free account. Okay. So you just have to click on create free account. Okay. Just click on that. And then you just have to, I mean, this is by default, it's my email, but this will be empty for you. So you just have to write your email here. So these guys know that I'm already. So let me just choose a different browser. Okay, I'm using Opera. Okay, now here can just say Mendeley. Okay. So what about using MS Word for referencing? Is it valid? Like MS Word is considered usually as word processing software. So it can do so many things, but when it comes to referencing, There are specialized solutions like Mendeley, Endnote, Zotero. So they are not word processing. They are just specialized at referencing. So it's much easier if you choose a referencing software like Mendeley. And Mendeley is totally supported by Word. So there is the Word plugin for that. You will see. So it's just like using Word in a much easier way. Okay. So I would recommend, rather than using Word for referencing, you go for a referencing tool like Mendeley. Okay. So now you can go here. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, now here it says download Mendeley desktop for Windows. Okay, so you can, so it knows that my system is Windows, so you can just download this. I mean, it's pretty easy. Like I have already installed, so I'm not going to install, but it's just doing next, next, and next. It's so easy. So you just have to download this one, and if you're using Mac OS, you have another version. Linux, you have another version. You just have to download the version appropriate for your operating system, and then it will be just a piece of cake. Just do next, next, next. It will be installed just like any other software. Okay, so straightforward. Okay, that's about it. I mean, you can create an account. You can create an account. See, create an account. And just say email, write email, and then continue. That's going to ask you for a password. I mean, I think you guys can figure this one out. This is very easy. Just create an account and then just install the software. You're good to go. Everything is free. And if you have any difficulty, you can let me know. If you had any difficulty when you were installing Mendeley, I can guide you. And there are so many videos available in YouTube, like 5-minute videos that will just guide you on how to install, how to create an account here. So this is the interface where you create the account. You just have to type the email and then press continue. So I will just type my email, but they will just tell me, okay, I will just type a different email. Yeah, now it will ask me give a name, family name, password, and things like that. So then just say register after that. Okay. So I guess the process is straightforward. Okay. Then once you do that, you download the software and then you install. And then you open it from the desktop. There is a web version as well, but we will talk about it later. So we will, this is the desktop icon. So you double click on that. So you need to have a working internet connection to open this. Okay. I mean, because it requires a login. Because now this one open because I'm already logged in and it detects me as Sajiva. But if you are doing it for the first time, it is going to ask you for the username and the password. So in order to verify that, you need to be connected to the internet. Okay, otherwise it will give an error message. Okay. So this is sort of an interface that you get. So let's say you are doing you're working on your thesis, right? So you're working on your thesis. So whatever it is, first thing you're going to do is you create a new folder. If it is a new project or whatever it is, so you're going to create a new folder. So I just click on this, create folder. So I'm going to give a name. So I'm just going to give FLFN. So what is the course code for this? This no, LFN 3112. LFN LFN 3112. Okay, so that's it. So now I have a empty folder. This is where you are going to put all your references. Okay. So now let's say you want to add some reference. So for the time being, I'm going to get a document like this to explain things. Okay. To explain things to you, I have a document like this. This is like an assignment. Okay. An assignment. So this is something I have. One more thing I have to tell you. Now, first thing is you create this folder, okay? And there are, if you click on this one, tools. If you go under tools, there is, now it says uninstall MS Word plugin because I have already installed it. But if you are opening it for the first time, it will say install MS Word plugin, okay? It will say install MS Word plugin. Then what you do is you close your whatever opened Word documents. You close everything. You close everything. And then you click install MS Word plugin. Because while it is open, while the MS Word is open, it cannot install. So you close all the Word documents and then you go to tools and under that you click install MS Word plugin. Okay. So next time you open your Word software, okay, next time you do that, you will see under references, you will see this section. Insert, bibliography, Mendeley, all this you will see. Okay. So you have the Word, the facility is available inside Word, but in between you have this one as well. This is the Mendeley plugin. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this references section. Okay. So I'm going to remove this references section. So I just press backspace. So, and now there are references, like places where I should have references. So number one, I think somewhere, yeah, this is number 3. Yeah, 1 and 2 here. 1 and 2 is here. So I'm going to remove 1 and 2. Okay. There should be an option to remove all of them at once. So I'm just going to remove this. Should have done this before. Okay. 7, 6. You guys see anything else? Don't think so. So that's it. There is 13 here. So now we are going to add them. Okay. Add those references. So this is a copy. I mean, I have the original version. So there should be a reference here. See here 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. So first one is variational methods for this one. So what you're going to do is we are going to search for this. We are going to search for this. So anyway, I'm going to go back into this one. I'm going to log in. So we will search for this one. So here you can see variational methods for the solution of problems. So this is the one. Okay. So we click on that. Okay. So we click on that. I mean, this is something that like you have to read this. Okay. I mean, you can't just add the, so provided that you have read this, one, then I can get the citation here, you see. So that is what you should be looking for, citation, get citation. Okay. So somewhere you should look for this, get citation. So you click on get citation, it will give you a couple of options. Race, EndNote, BibTeX, like there are so many. You can just, this BibTeX is good. Okay. You can get citation only or citation and abstract. So if you want to get citation and abstract both, you click on that and you say BibTeX. Then you say download. And you can see it got downloaded here. See, it got downloaded here. Now if you want to add this to your folder, so what I'm going to do, and say file, import, and you download it as BibTeX, right? Download it as BibTeX. And then this is the one. 12, sorry, what is this? Something opened. Okay, this is the file. 12:08 p.m. That is like 1 minute ago. This is the file that we want. So we double click on this one. See, it gets added. So easy. So if you click on that, all the information is here. Okay. All the information is here. And you can go to the second one. Like, what is the second one? HB Curry, the method of steepest descent. You select that one, copy, you can search for that. See, this is the one, cited by 410. You click on that. So what are you looking for? You're looking for a citation. Cite this item. See, cite this item. So you click on that. Okay. Now it has different formats: MLA, APA, Chicago, export citation, export to ECBib, export a RIS file, and it says for Mendeley as well. See, export a RIS file. So you click on this and it downloads. See, easy. So you just have to import this one. You go here, file, import. This time it's a RIS. Okay. This is the one. Double click. That's it. You got this one. Okay. So if you click on that, all the information is there. Then you go to this other one. Now you get the idea, right? I mean, I can keep on doing this for all the 18, but that will be boring, you know. But I can do that. But now you know, you get the idea. Thank you. Anybody having, are you guys confused with what I just did? Or are you guys okay with this? Hello, any questions? Any, you want me to go through it again, or?
Sir, can you please do one more?
I couldn't hear you. But could you please say that again? I could not hear you properly.
Can you again, please?
Do it again. Is it? Did you say do it again? Hello. I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the whatever you said? I couldn't hear you. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We are going to do it again. Okay. So what we did. So first thing, this we created a new folder. Like by clicking on this create folder, we created a new folder and gave whatever the name we want, and then we had an empty folder. Okay, empty folder. Then whatever the link that we want to find in the internet. Okay, so there are different names here. So I clicked on this one, variational methods for solution of problems of equilibrium and vibrations. Okay, so I copied that one and I just pasted it here. I pasted it here in the search bar. See, and then I got this result, this one, and I clicked on that. Then what I'm looking for is a citation. Okay, I'm looking for a citation. So here it says get citation. So I clicked on that. Then I am being presented with a bunch of different formats. So I selected citation and abstract and clicked on bibtext and I clicked downloads. So now it download citation. So now it went to downloads. I mean, you know, in your computer, there is a download section, right? So when I click download citation, it will go to the downloads. So then I imported that downloaded file into this folder by going to file, import, and then bibtext, and then I selected that downloaded file. I double clicked on that. Okay, I double clicked on that and then it came here. Do you understand that? Okay. Okay. So that's what we did. So now we want to add these two. We want to add these two at the place we want. That's the idea, right? You want to add these two. So this is the original one. So here, right here, gradient descent method, we want to add them here. So in this one, we are going to add them in that position. Right here. Right here. So I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. So we want to add them here. So we place our cursor there. We place our cursor there. And then we say insert citation. You go here, right here, okay? Right here. Insert citation. And then you type any information that is, so okay, go to Mendeley. Here, it's current. Current, this guy. So any part of some information here. So it will search. So if it is current, then type current. Okay. See, now it will show you the one that you just downloaded. Okay. So you do that. Now you want to add another one. There are two, right? So the other one is, what is the other one? We were inside this Haskell, this guy, Curry and Haskell, right? So here, I mean, so I think it's better if you first write down the names. So it's so the second one is Haskell, first one is current. So you go current. So this one, and then you type Haskell. This one. That's it. So then you say okay. See? But if you don't like this comma, you can do something like this actually. So you can do insert citation and you cite current like this. Okay, you put it here and then you say Haskell. Okay, that's it. No comma, 1, 2. And then, so now these are the citations. Okay, these are the citations. Now, the bibliography is at the end. So you can write references or reference list or whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So whatever you want, you can write here. Then under that, you can say insert bibliography right here. Insert bibliography. Okay. That's it. I think there are some I didn't delete. So 4 and 5 have not been deleted. Somewhere there is 4 and 5, which I forgot to delete. So this 5. Control F. Ooh. This one we don't want. I think oh yeah, there is 3 and 4 and like these I haven't deleted. See, those have to be removed. 3, 4, and there should be 5 somewhere else. How can we edit the citation if we have already downloaded the paper and articles to Mendeley? Edit the site. Yeah. So now I'm just looking for this number 5. Okay. Let me just quickly look for this 5. Oh yeah, this one. I'm just going to remove this one because earlier I did not remove that. So I'm going to remove these 3. Yeah, this is what you have now. That's what you have. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so this is how you get it. So the more you add, let's say you add a third one. Now the third one is where is the third one? The third one comes here. I mean, first we have to download that one. So I already have it actually. This core sheet thing, I already have it. So I'm going to just add it here. So where is that? Yeah, right here. Right after 1847 here. So I'm going to add, yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to say, okay. So that is the number 3. So because we have already added 1 and 2, so this is 3. So now if you go down, you can see number 3 has been already added. It's there. You don't have to do anything. It's been taken care of. Now, if you want, now this is in the IEEE style. See, the style is IEEE. But if you click on that, there are so many other styles. You just have to click on the one that you like. If you don't like this one, you just like, if you like biochemistry, you click on biochemistry. See what happens? Now it became 1 and 2. And you can put some comma. Sorry, should be okay, 1 and 2, and this one is 3. Earlier it was like within brackets, but now it is not. It is given like this, but because this is the biochemistry format. Okay, and if you go down, it is different now. Earlier it was not like this. Now it is in the biochemistry format. Anybody having any difficulties? Is it too, like, is it confusing, or are you guys okay with this? Is everybody okay with this, or should I go again? Like, I think this is pretty easy. I just had to select whatever you want. See, and if you are not satisfied with these, you can even go to more styles, and we have a whole host of styles here. You can even, yeah, how can we add author date format citation? Yeah, author date format. So that is like, if you select the Harvard style, so I think we have system. There is some update available here. Citation. See what happened now? Now it is like this. You have that? So I selected Harvard reference format. In the Harvard format, you have the last name of the author and the year. You just have to select that one. And then everything will be like that. Then if you go down the bibliography, it is in the alphabetical order. There are no numbers anymore. It is in the alphabetical order. Do you understand? The C, and then L. Anybody having any? So if you can put this Zoom recording as soon as possible, we can practice with them. Yeah. This is being recorded. This is being recorded. Yeah. It's being recorded. Oh, this is it shows here that it's getting, because today there was a problem. I mean, usually I create the link and everything is recorded from my side. I hope now it is because this was created by Dr. Prasanna. It shows as it's getting recorded. Oh yeah, recording on this computer. Okay, yeah. The moment this is finished, I will upload this. Okay. So just want to know, like, are you guys okay with this? Do you understand this? Any questions? Anything you don't understand? If you feel like, oh man, it's so confusing. No, you don't feel like that. You feel good. If you're feeling good, then it's fine. Okay, that's what we want. Yeah, like, so you can have 1,000 any number. This is how we do it. Okay. Can you please repeat how the name and year? Okay. So the name and year, you just clicked on this tile. So this tile. So you just select the Harvard reference format. That's it. You don't do anything else. It's Harvard's reference format. Okay. The moment you selected Harvard reference format, everything will be in this format. How can add reference from we have already downloaded? Yeah, I mean, this third one, it was already downloaded. This one, it was already downloaded. I didn't, so you can see here, I don't have that third one. It was somewhere else, but I can remember it was downloaded. So I just searched. Here. So wherever I want to include it, I just put my mouse, I just put my cursor there and say insert citation, and you search. If it is somewhere inside your any one of these Mendeley folders, then it will be fine. Okay, it will be shown here. If it has been already downloaded and inside Mendeley, in one of the folders inside Mendeley, that will be shown here. Then you can just click and say okay. And somebody asked, like, how can we do a what is that, URL web page? Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Now web pages, let's say you want to some web page, let's say like this. I think there are some web pages here. No, let's say you want to add a new one. Okay, new one. Just give me something. Okay, let's say something like ranking rank question. Sometime PDF download directly with the link. Can we add that PDF to software? Only we can. Yeah, you can add this PDF as well. You can add the PDF. I'll just show you how you can do a what did you say? Web page. Okay. So ranking. Oh yeah, this one. Graph DB. Let's say ranking graph database management systems. Okay. So now you want to add this one. So what you want to say is you click this. I will just go to a totally new one. Just guys, give me something. You can say Great Wall of China. Okay, Great Wall of China. Okay, so there should be something on Great Wall of China, right? Okay, yeah, this one. I'm going to get this one. Great Wall of China. Okay, so I think this is a good one. So I just click on this, copy. So next thing I do, so I'm going to manually add this one, okay? Manually. This one manually because there is no citation, bib text or anything like that. So I'm going to add this manually. So I say file, add entry manually. File, add entry manually. Click on that. Then there are so many types. Journal article, book section, case, computer program, conference proceedings, and film, generic hearing of reports, statute, television broadcast. There is web page. Okay, we select that web page. The title. I mean, we already copied the URL. So you put the URL here, paste, and then we look for title. What is the title? Great Wall of China. Great Wall of China, length, history, whatever. So we copy that. We put it as the title. Paste. Okay, authors. Are there any authors here? Yes. Chris Chan. Okay, Chris Chan. So we copy that and put it as Chris Chan. Paste. Okay. Publication, there is nothing like that. Year. So in which year? 2021. You copy that. This is 2021. Pages doesn't apply. Date accessed? Yes, today. So that is 5th of 2021. Okay, that's it. That's basically it. You don't have any information other than that. So you say save. So you see, that's it. So you want to edit somewhere else? So you say, think you want to edit here. You want to put it here. Okay. So you say insert citation. Say churn. Oh, there are many churns. Like we'll say Great Wall of China. Great. Oh, yeah, this one. See, Great Wall of China. This one. Say okay. That's it. Churn. 2021. We go down. There you go. It's right there. Okay. That's how you do a web page. Any web page you can do it like that. So when we are copying our own written intro to another Word document with citing, and then after we some of the page. when we are copying our own written intro to another Word document with citations, and then after we adding any cite to it, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, that happens. Like, so when you export it, so when you export a document with citations, usually everything goes along with that, but usually otherwise the data will be lost. So everything should be, it's better to do everything in one page, like one document. So don't try to like copy the, like do half of it here and then transfer it somewhere and then continue from that. It's better, it's more secure if you do it in one go at one place. Okay. If we have already, if I'm getting some info from an article and they have taken that info from another article, what should I put as my reference? Is it obesity prevalence? So whatever that you refer, it's not what they refer. If you referred it, you put it there. Okay, it's not about what they refer, it's about what you refer. If you referred only one of them, you put that one. If you referred both, you put both. Okay, it's not about them, it's about you. Okay, so if we have already downloaded the PDF to PC but not in Mendeley, can we get the citations from the, yes, we can do that. Yes, we can. We don't have to get citations from this file. I mean, this is one way of doing it, but you can, let's say you downloaded a PDF. Okay, now let's do this. Let's say, so I think you guys are okay up to this point. Okay, if you have any questions, ask me. Okay, now let's say we want some article, like I'm just typing my name. Uh, uh, yes, this one. This is one of my stuff. Public Library of Science. So this is, you can just download the PDF, okay? Because this has been already paid for, so you can download the PDF free of charge. Okay, so the PDF has been downloaded. So where's the PDF? PDF is in the downloads. So I go to downloads. It's a document. So this is the one. This is the one, okay? This is the one that we just downloaded. So we just drag it and drop it here. That's it. So if you click on that, everything is here. It's just drag and drop. One thing you have to do is check. Sometimes when it is reading the PDF, there can be some errors. So because it's just character recognition, okay? So go through carefully and see whether it has made some mistakes. Most of the time it's okay, but if there are mistakes, you can manually correct them here. Okay? And then just like before, if you want to add this somewhere, what do? You just go to your Word file. something wrong. Where is my Word file? Okay. Yeah, let's say you want to add it here somewhere. Yeah, this is not the one. Let's say you want to add it somewhere here, just like before. You want to add it here. You say insert citation, and then what is the name of that thing? Class 2A select histone deacetylase, that one. So histone, yeah, this is the one. Okay, that's it. See, you got added. You go down, it's right here. It is at the top because in the alphabet B is coming before C. Okay, so that's how we do it. There are definitions we get from FAOWHO. In this case, we can't change that definition to our words. If we add that definitions to our research proposal, introduction, will it quote as plagiarism? There are definitions we get from, yeah, so if you are using the definition, just write it as defined by this document or something like that, as defined by, so it is in some document, right? Defined in some web page or some document, should be defined somewhere, right? So you can give a reference to that web page or that document wherever the definition is. That's what you do. Are you okay with that? What can we do if the author list is appearing as et al. Even in the bibliography section? Usually doesn't. Usually it doesn't. I don't know why it is appearing like that. But oh yeah, here it is appearing. Yeah, see, it's okay. That is what it is. So the idea is like anybody can visit this thing. Now they can just click this. They can just click this and go to that place. That is the idea. Okay. So you are not responsible for that. I think there is a huge list here, like more than 10 or something like that. So yeah, you can put some, you can do some research on that actually. Let me see. Yeah, modifying et al. Usage Mendeley. So they have some article how to modify that. If a preference has 3 or fewer authors, display all of the names in full. If a reference has 4 or more authors, display the first author and so in my case there is like more than 4, so that is why it added like that. Okay, the threshold that triggers this behavior can be modified by editing the style using the CSL editor, and you can find the style. Yeah, so this one, the reason for that appearing the here as et al, the reason for that is defined by the reference style. If now here it says for this APA style, if there are more than 4, okay, if a reference has 4 more authors, display the first author and add et al to reflect the additional author. That is the default setting. But if you want to modify that, you can do that. So first you have to open the, so that means you have to modify that style. So you have to modify that style. So you can actually have a look at how to modify a style. So here you have different styles. I think edit, no, not edit. Edit settings, let me see. Not edit settings. We have different styles. I think here we have. See where we can edit the sites. Edit the citation style. Okay. Yeah, they should have. I can't remember where it is. Options. Yeah, here I think it should be here. Can probably edit the style here. Connection. Sotero. Let me just check. Oh, view. It's in view. It says it's in view. View, citation style, and then what? Okay, more styles. Okay. View, citation style, more styles. More styles, and then if you get this one, and then edit style. First, you can update style as well. Update style. Update style. I mean, there is an update here. So, and then edit style. So it is loading. It's going to show you. Okay. This one. Yeah, here you can edit the style. There should be like if you want to get rid of the et al, should be here. Inline citations. Inline citations. Yeah, okay, here. Yeah, here you have to update, but once you update, it's not the same style anymore. That's the problem. So you cannot say it's the same style anymore because now it's an updated style. So it's better to leave it as that, because once you do it, once you change it, you cannot say that it's the same style. Like for example, if you have but now you know how it is updated, right? You have to update it here. You have to update it here. So you just have to go inside and see where exactly you have to update that. So it's somewhere in this one here. Yeah. Author. Oops. Yeah, that will take some time. So we'll have to go in and see how to update that. Okay, but that's a good question. You just have to see how it is updated. It has to be updated from inside. Did you understand? Like it has to be updated. The style has to be updated if you want to do that. Okay. Now, anything else? I think there were some questions, right? We had some chats. Yeah, I think that those are all the questions we have. So that is how you update a style, but it's not recommended usually, because then it's not that style. You cannot say it is that style anymore if you update the style. Okay. Okay. So you know how to manually add add a reference, how to add other references. What else is there? Oh yeah, there is a there's a good book for Harvard referencing format. So I have been asked to cover certain number of topics today. So I think we started around 10:30, right? 10:30. So in this lecture, we had to go through plagiarism, paraphrasing, use of referencing software, introduction to Harvard style, use of software, selecting, managing reference, text citation. Okay. Footnotes and endnotes. Now, if you want to add footnotes and endnotes, it depends on the style. For example, certain styles support footnotes. Certain styles support footnotes, but not all of them. Okay. Now, for example, this is Harvard reference format. That one is, it does not support footnotes. But if you want to have footnotes, like for example, have a look at something like this. Yeah, not that one. Just more styles. National, yeah, modern language, modern humanities. Let's use something like this. Okay. Let's see this. Let's see what you have. See now, this added a footnote. See, there is a footnote here. For this particular page, there is this one. So it added a footnote. See, because that style supports footnotes. That particular reference style supports footnotes. But not all of them support footnotes. Okay. And if you want to, like, I will just undo this one. We'll undo that. If you want to, like, in general, if you want to add some footnote, let's say you want to do simultaneously. Okay, simultaneously, then you can add insert footnote. See, so we are going to define what simultaneously means. So you clicked on insert footnote. Then you write what it means at the same time. Okay, you can do something like that. Did you understand that? So you can give footnote like that. If you want to add some further information, you can, if you want to say add something about this computational cost, you can put your mouse here and say insert footnote. And then you will be given some space at the bottom of the page where you can add some description. So that is something else. That is a footnote. If you want to add an end note, end notes will be added at the end of the text, somewhere at the end. So here you can add insert end note. Okay. So if you say, if you want to do this one, like if I'll just cut this, and I say insert end note. See, now it is appearing at the end. So I can say word count excluding the title and the reference 1602. That appears at the end of the document. So insert end note appears at the end. But footnote appears on the same page at the bottom. Okay, so that is the footnote. This is the end note. These are the references, and these are citations. These are citations. Do you guys have any questions? So we have basically talked about footnotes, endnotes. We know what paraphrasing is. So I'm going to share with you a book. So this is so this book is like it's a very good book. ABC of Harvard Referencing for Undergraduates. So this will give you further information. It's only 42 pages. I mean, the content in one page is very small, so you can very quickly, like within like 1 or 2 hours, you can read this thing. It might not even take that long. So it's gonna give you information about Harvard reference style. Okay. So See, quoting a single author. If you have only a single author, this is how you do it. Okay. This is the page number. This is the surname of the, this is the last name of the author and the publication year. Okay. Somebody said something. The politics is a game for the wise. It was said by this guy. So you say Cameroon stated that like this. So this is how you do it. Okay. So you add your reference here. You can state that same thing in this way as well. Politics is a game for the wise, and then you write your, then you give your citation. And quoting two authors. Can you put the PowerPoints which are discussed today in the, yeah. Definitely, everything that we discussed today will be uploaded to the LMS, okay? PowerPoints and everything. So quoting two authors. So you have, this is the format. But I mean, I didn't want to go into this much detail because everything will be handled by the software itself. You don't have to manually do anything like this. But this is for your knowledge. This is the book which defines the Harvard referencing format. But nobody has to learn this by heart because now everything has been programmed into the software. So you don't have to, so you should know what paraphrasing is. Okay, you should know that, but you don't have to know each and every one of these. You don't have to remember. Okay. So there's, if it is a book reference, you have a surname, initial year, title, edition, place of publication. So I will not ask you like what is the order of like these attributes of writing a book reference according to Harvard style. That is just a stupid question, you know, because nobody wants to remember this because it's already in the software. Okay. But I mean, I will have to ask something at the end, right? I mean, some question. So I will definitely, so because I have to give you 10 points for this, see, assessment 10 points. So I'm going to give you 10 points, so something that gives you 10% of your final score. Okay. So I'll give you some questions. Okay. Most probably I will upload it to the LMS. Okay. So, and this book, so whenever you have time, go through this book. So it defines, like if you are quoting, if you are referencing a film, if you are referencing a broadcast, what you should do and how you should do it. Okay. For example, somebody is referencing Air Force One movie, which was released in 2001. Film directed by Wolfgang Peterson, USA, Time Warner. So everything. So it's like that. That's how you do it. And if you are taking stuff from somebody's dissertation, this is the format you follow. Tracy B 2017 and the name of the dissertation, the title of the dissertation, and what degree it is, master's dissertation, which university, University of London. So that information should be there. So if you are referring lecture notes, slides, so if this T. Alden is your lecturer, and in 2017 he did a course called OBI 23344, which is organizational structure, and this is the university. So if you are, so you can even refer your lecture notes, see, like this. Internet sources. So how do you do that? Publisher, web link, URL, access date. Now all this information is now inside the software. So you don't have to. So now if you look at this thing at the end, so we did See this thing here. See, Chris, 2021, Great Wall of China. So PBC, what is so? So this is actually, this is not the, is this the Harvard format? No, this is something else, right? So we want to go to the Harvard format. Yeah, so this is Harvard format. So now you can see it's in this format. So you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You just clicked on the Harvard format. That's it. Everything is given like that. It's so easy.